Okay, it's 6:06 and I'm calling this meeting to order. Next be roll call.
SB Ochoa present.
Nereida Cantu present.
Armin Garza present.
Alda Benavides present.
Alex Cantu present.
Mary Hernandez present.
And with that, Dr. Science, I do declare a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Science. Next be public comment stuff.
Yes, we have Ms. Julia Saenz here to make a public comment.
Mrs. Science, Señora Science, va a tener 3 minutos. You will have 3 minutes. Our attorney, Mr. Flores, will keep the time. Nuestro asistente de abogado va a tomar el tiempo. Cuando ya le falte 1 minuto a los 3 minutos, le va a dar el aviso para que vaya acabando lo que va a platicar o lo que va a decir. When there's ever 1 minute left, he'll let you know so you can start finishing up and wrapping it up. At no time will the board be able to answer any questions. En ningún momento la mesa directiva va a poder contestarle cualquier pregunta. Estamos listos para que dé inicio al tiempo que usted esté lista. Gracias.
Okay, gracias. Buenas tardes. Ya me conoce y sabe bien que hablo mucho, pero hablar poquito. Básicamente estamos preocupados por el bienestar de todos nuestros hijos. Venimos a pedir el uso mandatorio de cubrebocas para toda persona que esté dentro de los planteles con nuestros hijos. Básicamente es todo lo que queremos. También creemos que tenemos líderes aquí en el distrito de La Joya que quieren el bienestar de todos nuestros hijos, nuestros maestros, todo el personal en general, incluyéndolos a ustedes, sanos. Básicamente es lo que queremos, que nos apoyen en eso para el bienestar de toda la comunidad. Muchas gracias y les agradecemos antemano las atenciones que vayan a tener para nuestros hijos y la seguridad de nuestros hijos. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, señora.
We have a public comment from Miriam Silva.
Good evening, Ms. Silva, and welcome. At this time, I'll let you know that you'll have 3 minutes to do your speech or your words. Our attorney, Mr. Flores, which is right next to you there, will keep the time. Whenever there's a minute left of the 3 minutes, he'll let you know so that you can start closing up. At no time, it's my responsibility to let you know that at no time will the board be able to answer any of your questions. So whenever you're ready, we're ready for you. Thank you so much.
First of all, I would like to say that unfortunately, the school board is taking advantage of us in the sense that we didn't understand the way this works and we're not being allowed to speak. So I will speak for the parents present here, and what we're asking for is for leadership, okay? We want leadership that stands up to our governor. We want somebody that says, hey, I'm gonna do what's best for our kids. Now, we just want options. We want options. The purpose of this isn't to have remote learning. It's not adequate for all the kids. We just want to see leadership that goes up there and says, hey, we're going to do what's best for our community. We're going to do what's best for our students. We also want to have a board of leaders and not followers. Because unfortunately, what we're seeing is that you guys are waiting to see what other districts are doing. So, and that makes you all followers, not leaders. And having you guys elected here, you should be leading our people. You should be the voice of our students, and we don't have that right now. I actually brought my daughter because she's been going through some anxiety, and I want you guys to hear it from her.
I don't know. Lately, okay, I'm Sophie Silva, and I'm my mom's daughter, of course. And lately, I've just been feeling really bad about the situation, because I'm smart enough, and I can think of a bunch of other kids my age smart enough to know that it's a problem that we we don't need to wear a mask over there at school. And it's just dumb that nobody is thinking about the kids who may spread it onto others. And not everybody my age has the best immune system. I don't have the best either. And when it comes to that, we could get very sick, and we can get others sick. And I don't know, I can't sleep at night thinking about it, and it's just dumb.
Okay. And the reality is that she has been missing sleep these past couple of weeks just thinking of going back. She's not at the age to get a vaccine. And we have a vast majority of students that are not at that age yet. And what we expect is to see options for those children and to have a system where they're safe. Because nobody expected this, and I understand that you didn't expect this either. Nobody expected the Delta to come up. And I agree, and this is not your fault. But what I want to see is a board that stands up to our governor to do what's right. For our kids, for our community, for our teachers, for our staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Dr. Science,
Yes.
or Mr. Salinas, I just have a question. Is there a reason, or I don't know the procedure, but is there a reason we're not allowing others to speak, or she said that in the beginning and I'm confused?
The fact of the matter is that at 3-something, our attorney, Mr. Flores, gave them the yellow form and explained to them that if they're going to speak as a group, that there's not rule number 2, so that we won't have that many people. I mean, as we're fighting COVID-19. But if you have any more questions, it says it right there, clear number 2, that if it's the same topic, that one person or 2 should be chosen for that. That's not something that we made up.
I have a parent asking the same thing. I think.
Yeah, Dr. Cantus, in response to your question, if you look at the form that the district holds for public comments, you look at rule number 2, any group of 5 or more persons shall appoint one person to present their views before the board. So when they filled out the forms and we turned them into administration, they all put the same item on there.
Oh, okay, I see. I just would have liked to have heard from all of them. I mean, if it was only 4 of them, I would have given them the time, but okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's up to administration and the presiding officer of the board.
And the only thing is that the point they're making, I mean, I understand. We all know that it's out of our hands. The fact of the matter is that it's COVID-19, it's all these people together, so we're trying to just minimize as much as we can. That's why we're sitting the way we're sitting. So
I think it's safe to say that every board member here in attendance right now is on the same understanding and the same mindset of what that lady is saying. Mm-hmm. We're here to advocate for the kids. We're here to advocate for the safety of the kids and our staff. We're doing everything we can as a board, as an administration to do so. I think just because sometimes it's not in the public eye that we're doing this doesn't mean that we're not. And I want I guess our student body and our parents to know everyone here wants the same thing. If given the opportunity to make it mandatory for masks to be worn, we're going to do so. But we have to follow the guidelines that the state and TEA set forth for us. So, I mean, we're going to do that, and if we are allowed, virtual instruction, and, it doesn't affect, the way we do our operations, we're going to do so as well. We all want the same. We want our kids to be safe, and we want our staff to be safe. And we've done it before. We were the leaders when it came to the Rio Grande Valley and preemptive measures for COVID-19 when this first hit, and we'll continue to be. We're trying and exhausting all measures right now, and we just want the staff in the community to know that we're on your side. We're going to do that. We're going to do whatever we can to ensure the safety of our students.
Thank you, Michelle. Anybody else, guys?
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yo nada más quiero decirle a los padres de familia que como distrito nuestra prioridad es el bienestar de nuestros estudiantes, y créanlos que hemos estado trabajando juntos, unidos como un equipo para asegurar el bienestar de los estudiantes. Ahora, el Estado nos pone varias restricciones que a veces nos impiden hacer ciertas cosas, pero al final vamos a buscar la manera y vamos a trabajar duro para asegurar que todos estemos, tratar de practicar las metas necesarias, que es el bienestar de nuestros hijos y nuestro
empleados, pero sí quiero que la verdad trabajemos juntos en estos porque trabajando así separados todos en diferentes maneras no vamos a arreglar nada. Necesitamos unirnos como una comunidad, como un distrito que somos y colaborar juntos y unidos para poder salir adelante con esta epidemia que nos está otra vez atacando. Pero les pido un poquito de, por favor, paciencia y créenlos que tenemos todos trabajando duro para sobresalir y llegar a la meta que es la seguridad de nuestros estudiantes.
Y por esa razón vamos a tener una junta el viernes en el mediodía para pasar una resolución que diga que vamos a darle permiso a la administración para que ellos se enfoquen y requieran la uso del tapabocas para todos los estudiantes, para todos los maestros y para todos los trabajadores. Mr. Garza y Mr. Catú lo dijeron bien. Nos importa bastante el bienestar de los niños, el bienestar de todos los trabajadores, pero también queremos hacer todo bien porque no queremos que al final del día los niños no reciban todo lo que ellos merecen. Y por eso tenemos que pasar unos procedimientos para poder hacerlo bien y para que los niños no pierdan nada de lo que ellos se merecen. Por eso vamos a tener una junta el viernes en la mediodía y están bienvenidos a esa junta y es para pasar una resolución para, así como otros distritos lo están haciendo, para que haya más gente dándole saber al gobernador que no estamos de acuerdo con las cosas que están pasando. Pero hay procedimientos que tenemos que seguir y lo vamos a hacer y lo queremos hacer bien y tenemos el tiempo para hacerlo bien. Otra vez, muchas gracias a los que platicaron y denos un poquito de tiempo para pasar eso y ojalá que más distritos también lo hagan para que el gobernador sepa que nosotros estamos al tanto del bienestar de los niños, el bienestar de los trabajadores y de todas las comunidades donde vivimos. Muchas gracias.
Anybody else, guys? Con eso dicho, a todos los padres de familia, creo que lo que tanto Mr. Garza ha dicho, el señor Cantú, la doctora Benavides, incluso nuestra superintendente, toda nuestra oficina central de administración, todos nuestros empleados, todo el personaje, todos los elementos que desde marzo del 2020 vimos esto que venía por enfrente, no los detuvimos en nada. O sea, para esta mesa directiva, no yo, para esta mesa directiva y esta administración no hubo límites. Todos en sus casas, el dinero estaba ahí para nuestros empleados, todo lo que nuestros estudiantes necesitaran. Esta mesa directiva siempre vino para enfrente. Si fuera y estuviera a nuestra disposición hacer esa decisión, como lo dijo Mr. Cantú, entonces con todo corazón lo haríamos. Pero también hay reglas que tenemos por enfrente que tenemos que seguir, no porque no queremos dar contra, sino que esas son las reglas estatales, esas son las que vienen sentadas por el Estado, por nuestro gobernador y se tienen que respetar. Simplemente, de nuevo, yo creo que lo dijimos todos aquí, paciencia, lo que necesitamos, el viernes nos vamos a reunir y sí les vuelvo a decir a los padres de familia que si la opción se le da a nuestra superintendente, a la oficina de administración, oficina central, todos nuestros elementos, de hacer esa decisión y a la mesa directiva de hacer y regresar a como estábamos, lo hacemos en un instante. Porque tanto tenemos nuestros hijos, muchos de ustedes aquí, tenemos nuestros parientes que están trabajando aquí, yo tengo a mi esposa trabajando aquí, Mr. Garza tiene niños aquí, Mrs. Cantú tiene, Mr. Cantú, Mrs. Hernández no estoy seguro, pero tenemos sobrinos, tenemos primos, tenemos amigos, tanto como elementos como estudiantes, o queremos lo mejor. No es para detener o pensar que queremos hacer algo diferente, pero al momento que nos den la opción, con nuestra superintendente por enfrente, oficina central, nosotros estamos listos para dar eso a lo que los permita el Estado. Si nadie más tiene algo más que decir.
Oye, coach, yo nomás sí para cerrar en mi parte, claro, como dice coach, estamos hablando como padres de familia. Yo personalmente tengo un hijo de 8 años que va a empezar la escuela, pero quiero que sepan que el gobernador todos nos va a escuchar porque vamos a pelear por nuestros hijos y vamos a hacer lo correcto mientras quepan las medidas que nos pertenecen. Pero como dijo Dr. B, vamos a pasar esa resolución el viernes. También es una resolución a TEA, que es la que nos dirige a nosotros también, no nomás al gobernador, para decirles que queremos virtual para nuestros niños que no tienen la capacidad de tomarse una vacuna. Gracias.
¿Alguien más? With that being said, Dr. Science, that's the end of public comments. We're moving on to Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. The first item under Superintendent's report is recognition of the 2020-2021 National Hispanic Institute Summer Leadership Program recognition. Ms. Veronica Chavez, College Readiness Director, will do this presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Board President, members of our school board, and Dr. Science. As mentioned, I'm Ms. Chavez, and I'm the College Readiness Director. Thank you for the opportunity that you gave us today for recognizing 11 of our top performing students. They were selected to participate in the National Hispanic Institute, and they had a Lorenzo Zavala Youth Legislative Session that took place in July. We want to make sure that we recognize them. It's a big honor for them to have received this, for them to receive this recognition. You might be wondering, what is the Youth Legislative Session about? The LDZ uses a legislative process for students to formally submit their ideas for consideration among their fellow delegates. So there's about 130 students that are selected across the state. We have 11 representing LJISD that did participate. When they get to the LDZ, they're elected and they're appointed to a role. The role could be something like a senator, a representative, an executive, or a judicial branch member. And they basically put their experience of leadership into play. They negotiate, they work on deadlines, they prioritize things that they want to see enacted into law. So through this experience, they basically have to organize, they have to move people and get them to follow and achieve consensus around the written legislation that they want to achieve. And all of these legislative processes that they're going through are having to do with things having to do with the Latino community. And this is a national institute that they go through, and they were able to go through this in the month of July. In order for these students to qualify to assist the NHI's Youth Legislative Session, they basically have to be 10th or 11th graders. They have to have a really high GPA, a 3.2 or higher on a 4.0 scale, and they have to demonstrate that they're college bound. These students traveled to Sherman, Texas, and they actually took a whole week at the Austin College where they participated in these activities. So we want to start by giving you thanks. This required out of district travel, and our parents had to allow our students to travel for a week. And this took a whole village. You'll see a list here of all the individuals that were involved, and we want to give you special thanks for that opportunity that we've given our students. We want to thank the parents. There are many skills that students need to be able to participate in NHI. Some of the skills are like forming and expressing points of view and having confidence in public speaking and messaging. And we want to thank parents for that, because those are skills that are developed at home, they're developed early on, and these are some of the skills that they carry on with them that help them grow up to become community leaders. A los padres de familia les queremos dar las gracias y reconocerlos porque le han dado la oportunidad a sus hijos de aprender unas destrezas que se van a utilizar en este programa de NHI. Por ejemplo, formar y expresar su punto de vista, tener la confianza de poder hablar en frente de un público y poder expresar su punto de vista a través de escritura es muy importante. Y esas destrezas se forman en la casa, se forman desde la niñez, y son las destrezas que les han ayudado a estos estudiantes a participar en el programa de NHI durante el verano. So these students are not here right now. They are joining us from home. We've sent them an invitation to join us virtually, but we do want to recognize them. From Juarez Lincoln High School, we have Zoe Martin Arriaga. She's the recipient of NHI's Chief Justice Award. From La Jolla High School, we have Samantha Cano, and she was appointed to the House of Representatives, and she was also the runner-up in the Great Debate Finals and second place overall. Melissa Cantu is the recipient of NHI's Outstanding Legislator in the Senate Award. Amanda Chapa is a recipient of NHI's Best Debater in the Senate Award. Valerie Chavez was appointed to the House of Representatives. Julieta Garza is the recipient of NHI's Speaker of the House. Stephanie Moreno, appointed to the House of Representatives as well. Sidney Jimenez was a recipient of NHI's Most Distinguished House Representative Award. Oiram Santos was appointed to the House of Representatives. And from Palmview High School, we have Crystal Montoya, and she was appointed to the House of Representatives. And Isabella Zapata, and she's a recipient of NHI's first runner-up Top Attorney Team Award. So this NHI program that I present to you about has a lot of congressmen that are currently serving our communities. They're senators. There's many people across the entire nation that have participated in NHI and have grown up to become community leaders. They did mention Mr. Armin Garza, our school board member, was a he was invited 3 times in high school, and they were very proud to tell us that. So congratulations to that. It takes a top performing student to be able to be invited to that.
No, thank you, Ms. Chavez, and just on behalf of the organization, National Hispanic Institute, it's been in place since the late 1980s, and it's been in place in La Jolla since the early 1990s. We've had a lot of our former staff and alumni participate, and it's just this great event. It really gives these students an opportunity to blossom and give them, a different perspective on the legal process and them being able to reach their potential in different avenues that they normally can't do here. So they get to take part in the legislative process, and it's just a program that I hope La Jolla continues to participate in, and thank you for putting everything together.
So congratulations to all the participants, and on behalf of our students, thank you for making college readiness a priority in our school district. We are planning on expanding the amount of students that are able to attend for next year from 11 to 27. So thank you all.
Out of the 40 awards they gave, La Jolla took 10 of them.
Thank you, Ms. Chavez, and congratulations to all our students and their parents. That concludes the superintendent's report. Mr. Salinas.
Thank you, Dr. Sanz. Next up be discussion items. Item number 1, discussion of a safe return to in-person instruction and continuity service plan. Be number 1.
For this item, Mr. Martin Munoz, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, will give us this information.
Mr. President, Madam Superintendent, ladies and gentlemen of the board and community, we will be presenting today on the safety and mitigation efforts that we have put in place to mitigate the effects of COVID-19 as our students safely return back to in-person instruction and so that we can continue services. So our first day of school will be on August the 16th, and as guidelines and orders change from local, state, and federal authorities, our district will be adjusting and modifying our safety program. Students, staff, and community continue to be, and their safety continue to be our top priority. And our district has implemented a comprehensive safety plan to mitigate the spread of the virus and keep our students, staff, and community safe. When it comes to the safety guidelines that we're going to be implementing, as a district, we are requiring that all students, employees, and visitors self-screen before they report to school, that they stay home and contact their healthcare provider if they're exhibiting any of the COVID-19 symptoms, that when they are on campus or in a district facility that they maintain spatial distancing. As a district, we are recommending that whenever possible that people stay 6 feet apart. We are also requiring that employees, visitors, and parents and students frequently wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. We're also requiring that they cover their mouth or their nose when sneezing, and that they cover their mouth when coughing. We're also requiring that they avoid shaking hands, that they avoid touching, and that they avoid hugging others. And we are also requiring that they continue to self-monitor their health when they're in district facilities or buildings. Now, the following two things, as the district, we are strongly encouraging people to adhere to. We are strongly encouraging our students, our staff, and our visitors to wear masks or face coverings when they're in district buildings or facilities, and that they also get vaccinated if they're able to. When it comes to campus and campus safety, our plan is to improve or enhance our current HVAC systems. We have already installed hand sanitizing stations throughout our buildings. They are in our classrooms and in the hallways. And we will also be providing air purifiers for all classrooms. We will also be installing touchless water stations. The installation process has already started in some of our campuses. We have also provided temperature scanners for all campus entrances. We are increasing sanitizing and disinfecting protocols on all high-touch areas. And we are providing safety posters for all campuses, and these should already be displayed throughout our district. When it comes to student safety, students will be trained on how to self-screen for COVID-19 symptoms. Once they are trained, students will self-screen before reporting to school. For those students that are very young to self-screen themselves, we are asking our parents to please screen them before they send them to school. Temperatures will be taken upon loading school buses, and students will be encouraged to wear face coverings or masks. Students will also be reminded to wash or disinfect their hands frequently. Students that have symptoms will be isolated and sent home and will not be allowed to return until they're cleared by their campus nurse. And when a positive case is identified, parents will be notified and contact tracing protocols will be followed. Students will be reminded to follow the 6 feet spatial distancing whenever they're able to, and desk shields will be installed in every desk. When it comes to our staff, staff will self-screen before they report to work. Temperature will be taken upon arriving at work, and staff that has symptoms will not be allowed on campus and will not be allowed to return until they are cleared by the risk management department. Contact tracing protocols will be followed by the risk management department, and staff will be trained on identifying the COVID-19 symptoms. For social emotional support, counseling services will be provided to all students on the first day of school. Our counselors are equipped to provide our students with the necessary support through a multi-tiered system to assist with social emotional learning. Some of the programs that we have in place is the mindfulness program, the student support groups, and the OVEA's bullying prevention program. We also will be providing tiered support, tier 1 to all students, tier 2 for some students, and then tier 3 for a few students that might need that higher degree of support. Now, to provide an environment that enhances social, emotional, and academic success, LJISD will implement a positive behavioral intervention and support program. This proactive approach reinforces positive behaviors and teaches our students to be safe, responsible, and respectful. Now, does the board have any questions, concerns, or recommendations on how we can improve and strengthen our plan?
I think that everything's in place, Mr. Munoz, and I would just like to add this for the public. As of today, Dr. Sanchez, correct me if I'm not wrong, but 26,012 students are enrolled to attend school the first day of class. So everything that you said—
That's correct, Mr. Salinas.
—needs to be ready to go, because we are gonna really need that. But everything's in place, so thank you for everything and for everyone that does that. But yes, 26,012 students ready to come back to school. So
Yes, thank you.
Did I understand this correctly, that according to the TEA guidelines, parents do not have to be notified, and that the contact tracing does not have to be done? Is that correct?
That is correct, Dr. Benavides.
And the reason I'm emphasizing that point is because I want to tell our community that we are leaders in this community, making sure that we go against the TEA guidelines and making sure that we notify parents when a child that they've come in contact with has been or has contacted COVID, and that the contact tracing will be done even though TEA is not requiring it. So a los padres de familia les quiero asegurar que la Agencia Estatal de Texas no está requiriendo que avísenos a los padres cuando un niño esté enfermo, o a los padres de los alumnos que están en la clase con ese niño o niña. Pero el distrito escolar ha tomado la decisión de, como quiera, avisarles a los padres si acaso un niño ha tomado contacto con otros niños y si acaso está enfermo. Y también el Estado no está requiriendo que hagan el contact tracing, que es a ver con quién estuvieron, quién más fue parte de ese grupo, para saber dónde se originó el problema. Entonces, estos son dos pasos que el distrito está tomando, que no son requeridos, pero lo están tomando para estar seguro que tenemos menos casos cuando hacemos estos dos procedimientos. Thank you, Dr. Sainz. Estos dos procedimientos para ver si acaso podemos tener más control para que no haya mucho niño que se enferme.
That is correct, Dr. Benavides.
And also, just for our community to know that this safety protocols that we've put in place, they're very fluid. Just for the community to know that the more comes up, more information we get, and the more leeway we have with TA in the state, the more leeway we're going to take to ensure the safety of our students. So this is not something just set in stone, and we're going to leave it as is. As you know, the school year progresses and new things arise, we're going to adequately adjust.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz.
Thank you.
Next up may be item number 2, discussion of La Joya Independent School District pre-K3 program at Jose Escandon Elementary, Tabasco, Evangelina Garza, and proposed Benson Elementary.
Before Dr. Villarreal states, I do want to also assure the parents that if a child is having any kind of anxiety or problem, that we have very qualified counselors in all of our schools that can take care and provide that. And even now that the school is not in session yet, but if there is a student, all you have to do is contact the school so that a counselor can contact your child and start counseling services. So a los padres les quiero asegurar que si tienen una niña o niño que está teniendo ansiedad, porque es normal y no hay nada mal con eso, que pidan ayuda de los consejeros de las escuelas, porque tenemos muy buenos consejeros y consejeras que les pueden ayudar a los niños, y no hay nada mal si los niños están experienciando ansiedad. So I just wanted to make that point, because we do have
Thank you so much.
a very extensive counseling program that can help our kids, and I don't want students to feel bad because they're having any kind of anxiety, because there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Thank you, Dr. Benavides. Dr. Magda Villarreal, our Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, will do the next discussion item.
Thank you, Dr. Science. Good evening, Mr. Board President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Science, and members of the community. This evening, I would like to give you all an update on our PK3 program initiative. One of the things I would like to discuss with you all is the qualifying criteria. As you all can see right there, basically our students must meet the criteria of turning 3 on or before September 1st. And as we move on, as you can see right there, we do have the PK3 being a full day program. Instruction will run from 3 a.m. all the way to 3:05 p.m. However, parents will be able to go ahead and drop off their students or their children at 7:15. And for those parents that decide to do that, we have worked with our teachers that way we could ensure that we have activities embedded, and that way we could have them working on those particular activities. Also, as far as the curriculum, we will be using Frog Street 3 comprehensive curriculum that's designed for our 3-year-olds. Also, we will be offering the monolingual English program and the dual language English and Spanish program. The student to teacher ratio will be 15:1, and if you include the instructional assistant, it will be 15:2. The sites will be Tabasco Elementary, Escandon Elementary, Garza Elementary, and the proposed Benson Elementary. Now, these are the projected enrollment counts right there. For Tabasco Elementary, we do have 28 students as of right now. At Garza Elementary, we have a total of 44. At Escandon, we have a total of 59. And then at the proposed Benson Elementary, we have a total of 11, giving us a total count of 142. As far as recruitment activities, what has been done at the district level, back on September, June 12th, there was a recruitment effort. It was held at the AFT building. We did utilize the mobile bus to recruit our PK3 students. Also, currently, we do have a community bus route, and that's being done Monday through Thursday from 9 through 12 p.m. Also, you could see the members of our department on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the flea market recruiting our students. And also, we held a community walk over at La Jolla, the city of La Grulla, excuse me. We also utilized the information from the parent surveys that were conducted, and we went ahead and contacted all of those parents so we could go ahead and enroll our students. Let me give you a little bit of an update as far as transportation. As far as transportation, we will continue to go ahead and implement the protocols in the in-person instruction and continuity of service plan. We will be following everything that's in place in those protocols. Also, we will have a bus aide in the bus assisting our students and the bus driver. We will have harnesses that will be utilized upon request. Not that it's mandatory, but we will have those upon request from the parents. We will be disinfecting the buses before, during, and after. And also, we will be addressing the 6 feet distancing whenever possible. As far as the food service, do know that we will be providing, obviously, the breakfast, the lunch to our students, and we will be following the lunch menu that everybody else follows in the schools across the district. That's what we have for you all at this time. Do you all have any questions that you all might have about our PK3 initiative?
I just would like to add that our elementary principals continue also to help us with the enrollment process through their social media sites, and also as they speak to parents to make sure that we continue to enroll students. And I would like to tell the parents that even though we are identifying these schools for our pre-K3 program, we will bus students from any location to the school of your choice. As we continue to grow, we will continue to add more sites as we see the need.
Dr. Villarreal, I wanted to ask on your recruitment activities, what is a community bus route?
That's a good question, Dr. Benavides. Basically what we do is we look at our zones, and what we do is we select certain routes, and we go to those routes within our district, and we go and we start recruiting. We start looking and we start select, for example, we select Pueblo de Palmas, and we select a store or a certain location, and we station ourselves there, and we do the recruiting at that particular site. And then the following week, we do the same thing. We look at our map, we select another route, and we go and station ourselves there, and we recruit.
Thank you.
Dr. Villarreal, will pre-K3 kids be bused anywhere they want in the district? And then say they're bused from home to the school, will they be able to choose the destination at the end of the day if it's a different one?
That is correct, sir. We're working with our parents to be able to do that.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Any more questions, guys?
Just thank you to the Student Services Department because this is a long-awaited program. If we hook them at 3, they'll stay with us. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Villarreal.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, moving on. Next be consent agenda. If I can entertain a motion.
So move.
I have a motion by Dr. B.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes, and we go down to letter C, Business and Finance. Number 1.
I'd like to make a motion on tabulation C, items 1 through 5 for approval.
Okay, I have a motion on the letter C by Mr. Garza, items 1 through 5. Can I entertain a second? I'll go ahead and second, Mr. Garza. All those in favor indicate by saying aye, guys.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Next be letter D, Instruction and Student Services, number 1, 2021-22, Student Code of Conduct.
So move.
I have a motion.
Second.
Did I hear a second?
Yes, second.
And a second. I'm sorry, Dr. Benavides. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, motion passes. And number 2 under letter D, approval of the La Jolla Independent School District Pre-K3 program at Benson Elementary.
So move.
Second.
And I have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. At this time, it is 6:47 under section.
Human resources.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Human resources, I was already going ahead. Sorry about that. Letter E, Human Resources. Number 1, Texas Teacher Evaluation and Support System, T-TESS appraisers.
I motion to approve items 1 through 3.
And I second that.
Okay, I have motion for items 1 through 3 by Mr. Garza and a second by Dr. Benavides. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
It was
Mr.
me.
Ochoa.
It
Oh,
was
I'm
me.
sorry, SP, there you go. I can't hear you guys' voice here. Okay, so all those in by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. For the record, Blanca, it was Mr. Garza and Mr. Ochoa for that move. Okay, at this time now, 6:48 under section codes 551071, 551072, and 551074. Into executive session. Okay, it's 8:04 and we're out of executive session. I'll need a motion from items 1 through 8.
I move for us to approve item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as discussed in executive session.
I got a motion through item 1 through 6. Can I obtain a second?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Can I have something for number 8, and then we'll come back to number 7?
So move.
I have a motion for number 8.
Second.
And a second for number 8. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. At this time, under letter number 7, I'll pass it to our superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Before I read La Jolla ISD's response to the new Delta variant, I want to thank our Board of Trustees for being leaders in our area, in the Rio Grande Valley, and in the state in protecting our school children against the coronavirus 19. Thank you, Board of Trustees, for showing your leadership and ensuring our kids have a safe return to school. The board has, let me read La Jolla ISD's response to the new Delta variant. At La Jolla Independent School District, our top priority throughout this pandemic has always been to protect our staff and, most importantly, our students during these unprecedented times. In response to every new development, our administration implemented numerous safety measures to ensure everyone's safety. Effective Thursday, August 12, 2021, given the exponential rise in COVID-19 hospitalizations due to the Delta variant, La Jolla ISD will temporarily require all staff, students, and visitors to wear masks on district property in order to protect staff and students from the spread of this highly contagious variant of the coronavirus. The district announcements comes as the Center for Disease Control and Hidalgo County health officials have raised the COVID-19 alert to the highest level, level 1, and reported that hospitalizations are rising at the fastest rate since the pandemic began among all age groups, including children. Students under 12 years old are not yet eligible for a vaccine. However, school attendance is mandatory and virtual learning is not an option at this time. CDC guidelines recommend that for in-person learning, Regardless of vaccination status, masks will help reduce the spread of the virus and maintain safe school operation. To safeguard the health and well-being of staff and students, the district will continue to provide masks and hand sanitizer at all facilities and will continue contact tracing. The district will also continue to clean and disinfect surfaces. Governor Abbott's executive order does not limit the district's rights as an employer and educational institution to establish reasonable and necessary safety rules for its staff and students. La Joya ISD remains committed to the safety of our students and staff and assures our parents and community that we are doing everything in our power to combat this virus. Safety first benefits all. Thank you, Board of Trustees.
Okay, with that being said, can I obtain a motion for item number 6?
We do have a Spanish translation.
Sorry about that.
Para todos los televidentes de hispanos, en el Distrito Escolar de La Joya, nuestra principal prioridad durante esta pandemia siempre ha sido proteger a nuestro personal y lo más importante a nuestros estudiantes durante estos tiempos sin precedentes. En respuesta a cada nuevo desarrollo, nuestra administración implementó numerosas medidas de seguridad para garantizar la seguridad de todos. A partir del jueves 12 de agosto del 2021, dado el aumento exponencial en las hospitalizaciones por COVID-19 debido a la variante Delta, La Joya ISD requerirá temporalmente que todo el personal, los estudiantes y los visitantes usen cubiertas faciales en nuestro distrito para proteger al personal y a los estudiantes de la propagación de esta variante altamente contagiosa del coronavirus. El anuncio del distrito se produce cuando los Centros para el Control de Enfermedades y los funcionarios de salud del Condado de Hidalgo han elevado la alerta COVID-19 al nivel más alto, nivel 1, e informaron que las hospitalizaciones están aumentando al ritmo más rápido desde que comenzó la pandemia. Entre todos los grupos de edad, incluido los niños. Los estudiantes menores de 12 años aún no son elegibles para recibir una vacuna. Sin embargo, la asistencia a la escuela es obligatoria y el aprendizaje virtual no es una opción en este momento. Las reglas de la CDC recomiendan que para el aprendizaje presencial, independientemente del estado de vacunación, las cubiertas faciales ayudarán a reducir la propagación del virus y mantener las operaciones escolares seguras. Para mantener la salud y el bienestar del personal, los estudiantes, el distrito continuará proporcionando mascarillas y desinfectantes de manos en todas las instalaciones y continuarán rastreando contactos de COVID-19. El distrito también continuará limpiando y desinfectando superficies. La orden ejecutiva del gobernador Abbott no limita los derechos del distrito como empleador e institución educativa de establecer reglas de seguridad razonables y necesarias para su personal y estudiantes. La Joya ISD sigue comprendiendo con la seguridad de nuestros estudiantes y personal y asegura a nuestros padres y comunidad que estamos haciendo todo lo que está a nuestro alcance para combatir este virus. La seguridad de todo nos beneficia a todos.
Thank you so much, Blanca, and thank you, Dr. Science. With that being said, guys, can I obtain a motion for item number 7?
So moved.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. At this time, as president of the school board, we went ahead and posted an emergency meeting from an hour from now, actually at 9 p.m. because the order was given from our superintendent, through our board of trustees, through legal, through our secretary of the board. We will be reconvening in an hour, and the reconvening will be to La Joya ISD. We'll stand tall with our people and the concerns that we have. And this meeting is an emergency special called meeting at 9 p.m. to give legal the authority, as per the board and our superintendent, to file a lawsuit against the state of Texas, not allowing that the state of Texas do the executive order for La Joya ISD. So we will be coming back in an hour para todos los padres de familia, por medio de nuestra representación de abogados, por medio de nuestra secretaria de la mesa directiva, por medio de la audiencia de nuestra mesa directiva, mano a mano con la superintendente. Hemos dado la autorización a nuestra secretaria que ponga lo que se le llama una junta especial, a special call meeting. Eso será a las 9 de la noche para darle la autorización a nuestros abogados para que hagan lo que es una demanda en contra del estado de Texas para tratar y acabar con la orden ejecutiva que quieren dar. Con eso dicho, estamos haciendo para nuestros padres, estamos haciendo para nuestros estudiantes, los escuchamos, a los padres que vinieron no piensen que no los escuchamos. Esta mesa directiva junto con nuestra oficina central de administración y también con nuestra superintendente, todos nuestros elementos, los vamos a ver aquí en una hora. Sabemos que es un poquito más tarde, pero la orden se dio exactamente a las 8, la vendremos para atrás a las 9 para darle autorización en esa junta de ejecutiva que vamos a tener de emergencia para matar la orden ejecutiva del estado de Texas, so that we can come back and go ahead and file a lawsuit against the state of Texas to kill the executive order they have for our schools. With that being said, it is 8:13. I'll need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
And I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, give by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. We will reconvene in about 40 minutes because the order was put at 8 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas.
Yes. Okay, it's 9:30 and I'm calling this meeting to order. Next be roll call.
Espi Ochoa present.
Nereida Cantu present.
Almin Garza present.
Alda Benavides present.
Alex Cantu present.
Mary Hernandez present.
And with that being said, Dr. Science, I do declare a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up be public comments, and I believe we have one public comment. Ms. Salinas.
Yes, Ms. Brenda Salinas.
Ms. Salinas, remember 3 minutes, the whole rules. Mr. Flores will keep the time, let you know when 1 minute is left so that you're able to make your closure.
Yes, sir.
You may begin when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. President, school board trustees, and Dr. Science, and members of the community. We, the La Jolla American Federation of Teachers, in partnership with the Texas AFT and our community parents, thank you for taking the initiative and being proactive, always prioritizing on the health and safety of our students, teachers, employees, and communities. Our students need our support. Educators want to be in the classroom and are working diligently with our district to bring back our students to a safe learning environment that is a requirement and not an option. We want our district leaders to restore the local authority over COVID-19 safety. We want our district leaders to tell the governor that they are the local decision makers and choose when it comes to mask requirements, since our students under 12 are unable to protect themselves against the Delta variant of COVID-19 by vaccination, therefore at risk for infections and spreading the virus to their families and the broader community. And by you calling this emergency meeting, Mr. President and school board trustees, you are being proactive and going against the governor, our governor, to protect the lives of our students and staff. So thank you. Mil gracias. God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Salinas.
I yield back my time, Mr. President.
Thank you. With that being said, moving on to item number 5, which is discussion and action to authorize legal counsel to file lawsuit against Governor Abbott and or State of Texas and related parties to allow for district to make local decisions regarding the health and safety of its students and employees. Can I entertain a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Garza.
Second.
And a second, was that you, Mr. Chua?
It was Ms. Cantu.
Ms. Cantu, I'm sorry. Dr. Cantu, thank you. All those in favor, again by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. At this time, I need a motion for adjournment, guys.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Meeting's adjourned, guys, at 9:33.